dip or chop or chalk. I don't remember the name. Previously on. They are 5 passengers, 1 including my mom. YUL, can't remember. Hey crew, welcome back to my channel for another flight attendant vlog. If you're new, my name is Bridget. I'm a New York City based flight attendant for a major US carrier, and today we are working a 3-day trip. So today we have 3 legs, I believe. LaGuardia to DFW, DFW to Detroit, and then Detroit to DC. So I am now heading to the airport to commute to work. It's 6:56 and I'll probably see you guys again once I get to New York. Hey crew, so I have made it to LaGuardia. I am in American's terminal and I have to ride the shuttle over to our terminal, so I will see you when I get there.
Tell me what you wanna do. If the price is right, just send it through.
Hey crew, so I have just made it to Terminal D. It took 45 minutes to make it from B to D, which is crazy. So it is now 10:52 and my sign-in isn't until 11:30. So I have some time to kill here in the terminal. So I'll talk to you guys again probably once I get on the plane. Hey crew, so we are in Dallas now. It's 3:25. We have about an hour on the ground before we head to Detroit. And pretty much I think every flight today is 100% full. So I will speak to you guys again once I get to Detroit. Good morning crew, it is the next day and obviously, yes, I am home. Like I said yesterday, we had 3 legs. We worked LaGuardia to Dallas, Dallas to Detroit, and then Detroit to DC. So since we were in DC, I obviously came home. Any chance I have to sleep in my own bed while working, I will take it. But I wanted to come back and tell you guys how the flights were for yesterday. We are on an Airbus 220 for this whole rotation. So that's one of our newer planes, the plane that has the window and the lavatory. And flights were smooth. Every single flight was full. All the passengers were nice. We didn't have any problems, but I did learn something new, you guys. Don't judge me. I don't know much about the topic that I'm talking about. So I was selling alcohol on one of the flights and it was so many things for me to try and carry in my hands that I asked the crew member that was in the back with me to walk with me to hand some of the drinks and cups and all that to the passengers. So as we were standing at their row, the other flight attendant was like, you know, you can't have any type of tobacco with you on the flight. Like you cannot be using it during flight. And I'm looking around like, I don't see this man. Like he doesn't have a cigarette. You guys, to me, tobacco on my head is only cigarettes. Obviously now I've learned that it's not. He had this little canister on the tray table, but I thought it was lip balm. So when we got to the back, I was like, where did you see tobacco? Because I was genuinely curious. And he was like, oh, you saw that little canister? That is dip or chop or chalk. I don't remember the name. And he was telling me that you like put it in your mouth or something like that. I had never heard of that before. So yeah, I learned about chop or chalk or dip today. Comment down below if you're a flight attendant. Have you encountered people using it on flight? Or if you're not a flight attendant, do you know what it is? Just comment down below. So today we have 2 legs. This trip is a wonderful trip because it's a 3-2-1. For those of you who are not in the airline industry, 3-2-1 means that there's 3 legs on the first day, 2 legs on the second day, and 1 leg on the last day. Everyone loves a one and done day. Like that's the best type of day you can have. So today we go to DC to Minneapolis, Minneapolis to Dallas, and we lay over in Dallas tonight. So I will probably see you guys again when I'm getting ready to head to the airport or when I get there, depending on how much time we have to play with. So see you in the next clip. Hey crew, it is now 3:45 and I am packed and ready before time. We're not rushing today. I scheduled my Uber and everything, and I should be leaving here around 4 o'clock to head to the airport. So I will speak to you guys again once I get to the airport. Hopefully I can get on the plane early and sit down and have a little talk with you guys. So see you later. Hey crew, so we have just made it to Minneapolis. We were supposed to stay on this plane, but we actually had an aircraft swap, so we're moving on to the next gate now. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I will see you once we get on the next plane. I have made it to the hotel in Dallas. It is after midnight East Coast time, but I think it's like 11 something right now here. And I am tired. Fun fact about this hotel is the last few times I stayed here, one thing about me is I like to take extremely hot showers, and the steam from the shower caused the smoke alarm to go off, and it happened 2 separate occasions. So we shall see in the morning if that is going to happen again. I am too tired to tell you guys how the flights were today, so we'll have to have a crew briefing tomorrow morning. So have a good night. Good morning, crew. It is the next day, and as I promised, I would come back and tell you guys how the day and the flights were. So we're going to multitask. I'm going to iron my uniform while I let you guys know everything that happened. So as you know, we had 2 legs yesterday. We had DC to Minneapolis, and then Minneapolis to DFW. The first flight, pretty much all the passengers were really nice. Boarding was smooth because myself and the other flight attendant that were in the back of the plane were both in the aisle, directing passengers on where to put their bag. But as we are towards the end of the boarding process, these 2 gentlemen come on, and one of them is in a row with an elderly lady, and he's standing there, so I'm trying to get the elderly lady's attention, letting her know, you have to get up for him to get into his seat. So she takes her seatbelt off, she gets up, and the other guy who was behind him goes into the row too. And he's placing his bag on the aisle seat, which is the elderly lady's seat. And I'm like, what seat do you have? Because with this plane, we're on an Airbus 220. It is different. It's not 3 and 3, it's 2 and 3. And even myself, I got confused when people were asking me, oh, what seat is E? And in my head, E is always the middle seat. Well, on this plane, E is the window seat. So I gave him the benefit of the doubt that, maybe he was just confused with the seating. So I was like, well, what seat are you? And he's like, oh, I decided I'm going to sit with my friend and blah, 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 blah. And he was just talking in circles. And I'm like, but what seat are you? What is the seat on your boarding pass? He's still talking in circles. He's not answering the question. And I'm like, what seat do you have? I asked the friend. The friend is like, I have 17D. So 17D on this flight is the middle seat. So I'm like, okay, you are the middle seat. And he's like, so I go back to the other friend. What seat do you have? He's like, oh, I'm deciding that I'm going to sit next to him and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I understand that, sir, but what is the seat on your boarding pass? Let's start with that. And he was like, why does that matter? I was like, because if there's somebody sitting right here and this isn't your seat, I at least need to see if they're open to sitting in your seat. And this, you cannot sit in this seat. He was standing in the aisle seat. He's like, why not? I was like, because this is this lady's seat right here that moved for you guys to get in. So he decided to cause a big stink. Are you kidding me? You guys are booking all the seats? That is disgusting. Like, going off and off and off. And I'm like, sir, where is your boarding pass? And his friend, you can see now, is getting embarrassed by this guy's behavior. So he finally shows me the boarding pass, and he's in the back of the plane. And I'm like, okay, well, at this point, you need to go to your seat on your boarding pass. And if there's open seats, you can sit next to your friend. And just to get to this point, I had to keep stopping because he was purposely cutting me off and talking over me. So luckily, the other flight attendant witnessed this whole thing, and other passengers, because he was blocking the aisle from other people boarding. And even his friend is like, you know, just go to your seat, like you're blocking the boarding. And he's like, I don't care. So when I was telling him if the seat is open, he can sit there, he like cut me off and like, forget it, and walked to his seat. So that was it for boarding. Now we're in the aisle. If you didn't know, the carts, a full-size cart is 250 pounds and up, so they're heavy. And when passengers want to squeeze by in the aisle to use the bathroom, it's not really possible to try and maneuver the cart. So we're going through on the cart, me and the other flight attendant, and I was helping someone, so I wasn't looking at the cart, but the flight attendant's back was to the passengers. So there's a term called mooning and shining. I was shining because my face was to them, and he is mooning because his back is to them. So he's backing up, and all of a sudden this passenger tries to squeeze in between him and is like, can I get through? And it jumps him. So he tries to push the cart really quick because he jumped him. Well, while in the process of him pushing the cart, he pushed it onto my toe. So that was not a nice feeling. And then on the second flight here to Dallas, we're sitting in the back in our jump seats because it was a little bit turbulent, and a passenger comes to use the bathroom and steps on the same toe. So my toe was throbbing for pretty much the whole work day, but now it's feeling okay. But that's it for the flights. I will come back when I'm pretty much done getting ready, and I will tell you about the hotel and everything. Okay, crew, so I'm pretty much ready. I just have to put my uniform on, but I told you I would come back and tell you about how the hotel room was. So I'm always telling you guys, check everything before you get comfortable. And why I didn't take my own advice, only the Lord knows. So I took my uniform off, opened my bag, all of that. Came to check the sheets, soiled. So I called downstairs and they were like, oh, housekeeping is gone for the night. We can just change your room. And I was like, no, you can just set up the sheets because I've already unpacked all my stuff. My lunch is in the fridge, which was another hassle. So they sent up the sheets. I attempt to put the sheets on. Those are soiled as well. Luckily, they gave me 2 flat sheets, so I end up just throwing that over the mattress and calling it a night. Hey, crew. So it is the day after, I should say, our 3-day trip. I'm home for the day, and tomorrow I am supposed to be going to London. As usual, you know, I had to come back and do a little crew briefing with you guys to tell you how the day was and the flight was. As you know, yesterday we only had one leg, so we were one and done. Dallas to LaGuardia, we finished at a nice time, but unfortunately, as being a commuter, I had to go to JFK and catch basically a 9 p.m. flight. So I was sitting for hours after I was done working. But the flight was uneventful, just how we like it. There was no drama. There was no unruly passengers, no stories, literally. That's about it on that front. I guess I will speak to you guys again in the next video. Thank you so much if you made it to the end of this video. I appreciate all of you guys. I wanted to say thank you for getting me to 700 subscribers. It is so crazy to me. Even though 700 may not seem like a lot for some people, 700 is a lot. 700 people. That it's just mind-boggling to me. So I just want to thank you for the support, and I will see you in the next vlog. Stay safe and see you soon.